Hey, this is Chris, keeping it real, facts over fear. How are you doing today? Out for a little ride in Southern Virginia today, and then I'm going to head back home. I want to talk a little bit about the video before last, which was the one where I put video clips of John Campbell. And if you haven't seen any of his videos, you really need to, because the guy's been on the ball, reporting things for, well, shoot, I think since last December, so daily. So he's a doctor of nursing, and so he's really good. He's a really good teacher. You know, I don't know that I always trust the sources that he's using, and he's British, and so he comes from a socialist mindset when it comes to medicine, because that's what they have over there. But other than that, and like he said during his video that I played, inserted excerpts from into my video before last, you know, the conclusions that he came to should hold true for any Western country. And so, I mean, we are all Western Europe and America and Canada. We all have basically the same demographics, same healthcare systems in general, same level of care, you know, same kind of society, you know, within reason, with some variations, but still, you know. Like, I went to Scotland, my wife and I went to Scotland 2 years ago. We were perfectly comfortable there. In fact, I loved it there, because people, yeah, pretty much the same as people here. So, having said all that, if in fact 2 million people are infected in North Carolina, which I really hope is true, I really do, because that means we are at about 30% towards herd immunity, and that the progression towards that, even if R0 stays at 1, is going to be another 500,000, at least another 500,000 every month. And so we're going to get there pretty quick. We're going to get to that 720 something million, 7.2, excuse me, million number, that magical number where the virus has such a hard time jumping to a new host that the last person who has it finally dies. Not the person. Well, the person might die, but the virus finally dies, and that's the day we're all looking for, right? And I think that's going to happen long before we get a virus. The only thing I don't know is that given that 20% of North Carolina's population is infected, what effect will that have on the virus spreading? Now, been keeping a close eye on the graphs, and over the last 2 or 3 or 4 days, the 7-day rolling average has peaked and has come down slightly. Hospitalizations still are rising ever so slightly. Deaths are rising, well, ever so slightly, because they went to 21 yesterday. They were 20 the few days before that. And so what effect is the 20% of the people who are infected going to have on those trends? And I hope it's down, but I hope it's not too down, because we just need to go ahead and get done, because if and until we reach 70%, it really doesn't do any good to defeat this virus, because there'll be enough uninfected people left that it could start up again. I mean, somebody could come in from who knows where and start it all back over again, and we would be back. We wouldn't be back at square one, but we'd be back, where we were 2 or 3 months ago, and nobody wants that. We need to go ahead and get to the place where we know it's finished, and so we can get back to, and I would assert it's mostly going to be a normal life, unless we have another virus here shortly. I think we are going to get back to what was normal, and that's what I want. I certainly don't want to wear these anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. because they don't do any good. There are no scientific studies that show these do any good. There's photographic evidence that shows the droplets don't go as far if you're wearing one. Okay, well, that's a long stretch from saying it's medically beneficial. That's a huge leap, but that's the leap everybody's made, so that's the way we are. So I think if I had to make a prediction, I would say that deaths are not deaths, but I don't know what deaths are so low in North Carolina. I don't know what's going on. I can't. That's not explainable. It's a third of the rate of the United States as a whole, and it is a quarter of the rate of the UK. And so it must be a demographic thing. It might just be that England and Spain are much more heavily have a much higher population density. It's the only thing the only two things I can think of right off the top of my head. But I think that's what's going to happen. That the number of new cases is going to go on a steadily decreasing slope. It's not going to fall off the cliff, but I think it's going to go down, because it's just, if 20% of the people are infected, that means there's 20% less chance. Just right, that just makes. I'm not a statistician, but it just makes sense that you're right. If every fifth person you see doesn't have it, you can't get it from them. So that's 20%, right? I know it would matter if It matters how often you see people too. So, but I'm hoping that's what it means. I hope the testing continues to rise, although the testing is a mess. If it takes 7 days to get a result, you're really just wasting your time, aren't you? I mean, unless you have to get a test because you think you're sick, but then you don't find out for 7 days. And so we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it goes. But that's kind of my prediction. We'll kind of keep track. We'll keep keeping track of the figures there at the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And I will continue to report back on what I see, and then we'll see if what I predicted is worth anything. And I'm trying to be as scientific as I can, not really having a whole bunch of facts to go on. All right, got any questions or comments? Leave them in the section below. Like and subscribe. We appreciate when you do. We'll see you on the next fact-filled video. Hey, this is